Well, Fernando Alonso hasn't had the best of luck in his return to the McLaren Formula One team, but I don't feel sorry for the two-time world champion. Not when he has a company car like this.
This is the McLaren 720S, the replacement for the 650S, and therefore the first second-generation machine from the British sports car brand. And it is a genuine supercar, infused with all the know-how the company has garnered from more than 50 years at the front of the Formula One field. And the net result is one of the fastest and most powerful machines on sale in Australia right now. To get behind the wheel, you'll also need a bank account like Fernando Alonso's to buy one. Priced from $515,080 drive away for the 720S performance we're testing, it isn't a car that will be accessible to everyone. Especially when you consider that this car has an extra $180,000 worth of options added to it. Yep, you could buy a Nissan GT-R just with the options. But it is a supercar that is accessible to everyone who does drive it.
But this is a whole lot different, where other mid-engine cars of this ilk, you're looking through a letterbox rear window and you've got this tiny little windscreen. This is completely different. The McLaren's carbon fibre monocell allows it to have this really rigid structure. You've got these great little head windows that give it an element of space and ambience and that airiness. The wing mirrors are also mounted right outside on the edge of the car, so you get plenty of vision looking backwards. But most uniquely, there is so much glass back there. It's got great vision out the back, and that makes it a hell of a lot more usable and a hell of a lot more practical to drive every day around town. It is so docile that your grandmother could simply get in, press one button, and off she goes to the shops for some cheese and milk.
If she tapped into its performance, she'd get there pretty quick too. The 720S is powered by a 4-litre twin-turbo V8 that produces 537 kilowatts of power and 770 newton meters of torque, enough to slingshot it from 0 to 100 kilometers an hour in just 2.9 seconds, and onto a top speed of 341 kilometers an hour.
The engine just lopes along, the gearbox is smooth, the steering isn't sharp or light or fearsome or twitchy. The suspension is also really supple, because McLaren uses a lot of Formula One technology that even got banned in Grand Prix racing in this car. The suspension itself doesn't have any anti-roll bars. It's got hydraulically linked dampers, so the front right here is also linked to the back left with fluid, and vice versa. So when you're going through a corner, that pressure in the system basically keeps the car really flat. And without the anti-roll bars, the wheels can go pretty much up and down individually. So it gives this really supple ride. Of course it's stiff, it's a supercar, but it's never backbreakingly stiff. In fact, the carbon fibre monocell is so rigid that it kind of amplifies the noise when it crashes over a bump, but it never crashes through the cabin. It's also got paddle shifters that come straight from an F1 car. So while traditionally right is up, left is down, you can actually use both levers for either function, because it's interconnected. It's like a lever that goes all the way through the steering wheel. So you can basically pull the right lever to go up or push it to go down, and vice versa on the other side. Now, McLaren's been accused of being a little bit soulless with its supercars in the past, and I'd have to say that this doesn't ooze the same sort of Italian charm and character of a Ferrari or a Lamborghini. You know, where Lamborghini uses jet fighter influences for its design and Ferrari uses art and sculpture, this is clinical. It's like a scalpel has carved this car out of a single piece of metal, or carbon fibre, or leather, or Alcantara. It is simply amazing. I love it. I love it because it's been built by people who love driving, not people who love posing, not people who want to be down the coffee shop with a car out the front that people stare at. Mind you, this car is a head turner, but this is all about the driving experience. And in that regard, Fernando Alonso, you've got one hell of a company car. So the McLaren 720S, like most supercars, also has a multitude of characters. Sure, in default setting, it is absolutely sublime. As I said, your grandmother could drive it to the shops. But you press this button and it instigates the active panel, which you can then tailor the handling and the performance between three modes: comfort, sport and track. And in those track settings, this car is a button away from blowing your head off. Listen to that. Oh my god, this thing is so fast. That engine is amazing. There's a little bit of turbo lag below 2000 RPM, but keep it on boost and this thing is as linear and it's beautiful. Oh, it's so fast. That engine just seems to never end in terms of its power delivery. And the sublime element of the grip and the balance this car has is simply staggering. It's like the engineers knew exactly what I wanted when I wanted it. It's like I am just another nut or another cog in the wheel. Listen to it. So fast. And then, yep, you can go from the sublime to the ridiculous, back to the sublime again, just like that. So easy. What a car. What a car. Wow, what a seriously impressive piece of machinery this McLaren 720S is. Despite its intimidating looks, it is a genuine supercar you can drive every day in any environment. But ultimately what you really want is your own private racetrack to truly experience what it's capable of. And guess what? Fernando Alonso has one of those too.